You guys seem to be really enjoying these breakdown videos, so let's keep it going today in this video. Remember, if you want your video to be analysed step by step, drop the video in my Google form down below in the description. And it's not just you guys watching getting the value, it's also my swimmers inside my online academy where we break down their videos on my live calls I do every single week. Here are some of the massive progressions made by my swimmers and their swim parents from these breakdown live calls inside the Jack McMillan Swim Academy. If you want to join, then the link is also in the description too. Let's get into the video. Okay, so we're starting off with Christian Popov, it looks like, in 5 200-meter freestyle. So let's see what we can see in this breakdown. So we are looking at here. So at the moment what I can see is your stance on the block. Again, really good. Like what we said, we want to keep the hips high in the stance position when we're starting. So really good stance position. Let's see what your takeoff looks like and then also the entry point. So you can see here your reaction is probably just a little bit slower than everyone else's. As you can see, a lot of these guys here are already ahead of you. So that's, 0.2 of a second there that you could have gained. Your actual flight phase then, it's really good. Your back leg is extended up high, which is giving you good momentum off the block. What you could do is just making sure that your head position is just a little bit higher so that you're actually looking forward. What I always say is your head position and your eyes is where you're actually going to go, is the direction you're going to go. So in this case, if we want to go forward and outwards on a dive, we obviously want to be looking forwards as well. And the actual entry is good. So really positive there to start off with the dive. Obviously just the reaction just could be a little bit better. So we're watching here. Good, nice long strokes. What I would say is your head positioning then is just going up and down a little bit too much. So you just want to keep your head position quite still. As you can see here, your head is fairly out of the water. So you're lifting your head out of the water. So what is that going to do? Well, it's going to make your body position then like this. It's not actually flat and you're not getting good body position throughout your swimming mechanics, which is then going to drop your hips, and then obviously you're not going to streamline and go through the water as effectively as you could be if your head position was just a little bit better when you're breathing. So what I mean by this is just when you're coming to breathe like this, making sure that your head is close to this opposite arm that it extended, that your shoulder is close to this chin, and all you're doing is just rotating your head. You're not necessarily lifting your head away from your arm. You're just keeping it steady, keeping it low in the water, and all you're doing is rotating. So what I would suggest is doing body position kick as a drill where you can just break everything down. And then when you're doing body position kick, keeping your head neutral and looking down at the floor. And then when you need to breathe, all you're doing is simply just rotating your head and keeping it close to this extended arm. And that's all you're doing. Then you can progress that and do single arm, doing the same thing, and then obviously into more full stroke type of drills, such as your switch drills or any of these type of full stroke drills that you normally do. You can also tell as well that because your head is lifting so much, your leg kick fades a little bit. So your leg kick isn't consistent, isn't that 6-beat kick anymore. It's kind of going 1 2 1 2 rather than being consistent as soon as you start to breathe. So you want to be able to keep a consistent leg kick whilst you're breathing. Good underwater fly kicks, good momentum off the wall, good rotation, so that's good. Here, when we're coming off the wall, we don't want to just breathe straight away, though that is a better head position when you're breathing there. So you just need to replicate that on your actual full stroke. But what you see, the way it's quite low there, your head position. But what you want to do when you're coming out of the breakout is breathing with the stroke. So it should be your left arm moving first, not your right arm. So what I mean by it, if you're breathing to your right hand side, you want your left arm to come out and round, and you're actually breathing with the stroke rather than just breathing straight away, because what that does then is it helps move that momentum out of that transitioning from the breakout into the full stroke. But yeah, really good tempo in your arms. You seem to be breathing better this way rather than the other way. So you're breathing to your left this way, and then you're breathing to your right going that way. So you look like you're stronger breathing to the right hand side. So maybe you should just think about doing that throughout the whole 200 and be consistent with that. is actually breathing to your right hand side the whole time. Because as you can see here, your head position is actually a lot lower, which is great to see. Really good rhythm, good tempo in the arms as well. Yeah, really solid. Like, I would love to get you actually inside the academy, so then I could help you even further and go through this with you further. But you've got really good fundamentals, good technique, really solid effort as well, which is always great to see. But yeah, you're probably just like hurting a little bit towards the end here. Again, this is something to do with strategizing tuna freestyles. Especially in tuna freestyle, we can fatigue and hurt quite a lot towards the end. So we want to make sure that we know how to control that first 50 a lot better, so that we have enough energy towards the end of the race. But really solid there, nice work. Just a few of those things that we touched on that you could definitely focus on and get better at. So this is the next video we're going to go over. Max in this one, and he's lane 4 in the blue hat. This is a 400 meter freestyle. We won't go through the whole 400, we'll just break down certain elements, certain skills, and kind of your overall technique on this. So obviously you don't have the luxury of a block with the backboard on it, which is totally fine. It's actually a really good way to maximize your dive is by doing a block that doesn't have the back ledge on it, because it really actually enforces you to actually leap forward and to really use that strength and that power from your stance position, from your legs, to produce that. So it's a really good benefit actually in my eyes to actually have a block like this, because when you come to then have a really nice block at a competition, you know, it's actually a really good advantage for you. So yeah, let's look at that dive again. Good head position, good hips are pretty high, which is good to see. Flight position, again, the head, you could probably just extend this a little bit further. So what I mean by that is not going into streamline as quickly. You can delay it a little bit. See why these guys here, they haven't went into the streamline position yet. So what you could do is just delay that a little bit more, so that you have more air time, more flight time in the air. Really, really nice stroke. Lovely and long. Again, like what we said before, the head position was so high in the last video, whereas yours is the opposite. Yours is really nice and low in the water, which is really great to see. You've got really nice length in your stroke, really good fundamentals. I think you're still quite young as well, like 16, 17. So this is really good to see in your pathway in your swimming journey. Again, love to get you inside the academy so we can show you that pathway and how to really maximize your good fundamentals. But yeah, really nice and solid, nice head, low head position, really good stroke for 400 meters. Yeah, really good tempo. What I would kind of suggest is just to make sure that you're not putting too much effort in this first quarter of the 400, really making sure you are controlling it, because obviously we want to make sure that the back half is similar to the front half, and really using that effort gauge of, okay, the first 100 is a 5 out of 10, second 100 6 out of 10, third 100 7, fourth one, you know, 8 or 9 out of 10. So really using that as a way to pace a 400 is like a downhill slope. You know, if you're starting at the top of the mountain and you go down, the faster and you gradually get faster, sorry. That's kind of how we want to implement a strategy in the 400 meter freestyle, is getting faster as we go along. And that's going to come through upping the tempo, upping the rhythm of your stroke first, and then the leg kick can come in. We don't want to overdo the legs at the very start, because we know that that's going to hurt us even more at the end. Your legs are your biggest muscles in your body, so they're going to fatigue you the quickest, and we don't want to spike our lactate up so high at the very beginning of the race, which is going to then fatigue us towards the end. So 400 is obviously all about strategizing. Turn rotation looks pretty good. Again, because there's so many turns, we want to make sure that we are increasing our rotation speed. So a way that I really like to do this in training is actually swimming slow, like in the warm-up, but making the rotations of each turn super, super fast. That doesn't mean you swim fast into the wall, you're just swimming nice and slow, but that actual rotation of bringing your legs onto the wall is really, really quick, and then you push off just as normal. You know, don't have to do really hard push off or your underwater fly kicks, just kind of going back into that slow pace again, but it really makes the rotation quite hard because you don't have the speed or the momentum going into it. But yeah, really solid, Max. Just keep doing what you're doing, and again, just focusing on maybe strategy when it comes to 400 and playing around with your strengths and weaknesses there. But really, really good and really solid. It'd be good to see what like your 200 freestyle looks like and your 800 freestyle, or what kind of other events that you do too. So this is a 50 backstroke Florian. He's this one here, the silver hat. So this is a 50 meter backstroke. So let's see what we can see here. Yeah, so solid enough backstroke start. I always think backstroke start is the hardest thing that we can do. So it just takes a lot of practice when it comes to backstroke starts and making sure that we're in the best position possible. Like for me, when I'm looking at this, are you maybe too low in the water? Like, could you maybe come up a little bit higher? Maybe not as high as this guy. This guy is really high up, but maybe in a better, stronger position. Again, that'll be better for you to understand where you feel like is the most optimal for you. But really good, you know, coming up, I think at the 10 meter mark there. Really nice flow and rhythm to your stroke. Here is everything matters, all the small details, all the skills that we're talking about. So maybe here you could probably just get a little bit closer to the wall. As you can see here, there's a lot of room here, and you're just kind of using dead speed basically going into that wall. So you could probably get a little bit closer, because as you can see here, the guy beside you end up getting his feet on the wall quicker than you, even though yous were quite similar going into it. So you know, that's like 0.3, 0.4 of a second that you can improve there just from getting a little bit closer. So the timing into the wall could just be done up a little bit better. But yeah, really nice rhythm and bounce to the stroke. I really like that. And your head position is nice and still. So there's not much really to like is screaming out to me to focus or to really work on. You've got really good foundations there and really good speed. What we want to do is just make sure that you're increasing your strength and your anaerobic capacity, being able to sprint for 50 meters like that. So really working on those elements in your training and kind of the skills around the timing into the wall, your actual rotation of the speed of how you do your turn as well is going to be really important in the 50 meter backstroke. If you've got any other videos of you doing maybe some long course swimming, would be really good to see. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you really enjoy this. Again, if you want your video to be analyzed in the next video, then just put it into the description below and I will get round to analysing it as well. And there's also a link to join the academy so that I can better help you further and to coach you even more. But until next time, I will see you later.